The Right Side with Doug Billings.
I am very happy and proud to introduce to you a young man who is going places in this country. He's a Gen Z political activist, podcaster, Christian young man. He's a friend of mine, and here he is, Alex Stone. Alex, welcome to The Right Side.
Doug, I'm glad to be here. Thank you so much for having me.
Man, you and I, now, in all transparency, Alex and I are friends in private life as well. We don't live too far away from each other. And he has, I think, ladies and gentlemen, this is a good thing. We have millions upon millions of people who are Alex's age, in their early 20s, Generation Z, who are awakening to what we see in this country, and it does my heart good, because as I'm in the twilight, I'm in the winter time of life. Alex is in the spring of life, and he is our continuum. He and his other Generation Zers are the continuum of the American Republic. And Alex, I think that you're doing great work. Tell me if I'm wrong. I mean, you're right. You belong to a group that is really waking up to the gospel, to the divine providence of God, to the original intent of the founders and what America really means.
Well, Doug, you're not wrong. You're not wrong at all. People are indeed waking up to the gospel first and foremost, most importantly, but also to what this republic means and the fact that we have to keep this republic and save this republic from what you call the commie socialists. They are no longer the Democratic Party. The reality is that the Democrats are really honestly trying to implement social cultural Marxism into the United States of America. Just look at New York City. Look at what is happening in Minneapolis. They are coming directly for the heart and soul of the United States of America with their communistic ideologies, their Marxist ideologies, and it is up to us as Christians, as conservatives, to stop it. And I believe that my generation is waking up and working tirelessly to stop that very thing from happening.
And what started this within you, Alex? You knew Charlie Kirk. He's on your show. You've met him a couple of times in person. What started this? Was it Charlie? Was it something else? Why are you now on this mission, this calling from God to wake up people to the gospel and to the value of conservatism?
Well, I made the most important decision of my life. April 6, 2018, gave my life to Christ, became a new creation. And after that, I had a really just deep burning desire to go and tell people about Jesus, to tell people about the gospel, and tell people that they can be saved and they can be changed in the same way that Jesus changed and saved my life. Okay, so that was April 6, 2018. And then after that, in 2019, the summer of 2019, I started a Facebook page to share the gospel, started a podcast to go with it. About 1 month later, the show went about 7 episodes, then I stopped because it wasn't really my thing. But then when COVID-19 hit, I was bored, had nothing to do with my life, was doing homework in high school, and then got done and had nothing to do because I was locked in my home. And so I said, you know what, I'm going to start a podcast, and I'm going to give people the hope of the gospel in the form of audio on podcasts. And so I started it, talked about Jesus only, and then I began to get really, politically active, I would say, started paying attention and had guest after guest on talking about politics, started going to the Clay Clark Reawaken America tour. That's where we met. And now here I am today, 5 or 6 years later, continuing with my show, traveling across the United States, speaking at different events. I'm going to Mississippi to speak at the University of Mississippi on Thursday. And then after that, traveling to Texas to speak at His Glory Ranch Revival. And so really, Doug, my mission is to spread the light of the gospel into every aspect of life, including the things that most Christians do not like to discuss, such as politics. Been doing it for about 6 years, and it is the best thing that I could have ever imagined. I never thought I would be here doing what I am doing today, but it is one of the great joys of my life, being able to tell people about Jesus, wake people up to the gospel and to what this republic really means and is really for.
Now, it's my contention that there are millions of people like you and your age group who believe everything that you just said, but there's just very few of them who have the guts to come out and say it out loud. And so that's part of the reawakening that I see that needs to happen. And,
Yes.
and bit by bit, slowly but surely, there are more and more of your demographic, your age group, coming out, and I see men, especially your aged men, who want now a traditional family, the not marriage and kids, and to live that part of the American dream. It really is something to see.
You're absolutely correct, Doug. And I think part of that, I think a large majority of that is because of Charlie Kirk and his influence on my generation. I mean, he started Turning Point USA when he was about 18 years old, and it grew to be a massive political powerhouse that won, of course, President Trump the election, but is also waking up the younger generation. I think that's why so many young people are involved. And I think his assassination has only fast-tracked that by about 1,000 or 2,000 times faster than the trajectory that it was already on. I think Charlie Kirk's life and legacy, of course, will be remembered for his faith, which is what he wanted to be remembered for. But it is going to continue because of the influence that he had on young people such as myself and many others that I know as well.
You know, Alex, I also see this on Sunday when I go to church. As a Catholic, when I go to Mass, I see more and more young people dressing. I do notice it, dressing more conservatively and enjoying the rituals of the faith and taking part in them with humility and with a real sense of reverence. I just see it. I see more and more of it. It just makes me feel good. So you've done a great, I think what you're doing, blending politics with faith. Now, I wish that we would see more discussion from the pulpit with regards to what's really going on. I met last month with our Archbishop in Kansas City, Kansas, and had good discussions with him. But I wish we would see more brave priests. Some of the Protestant divisions of Christianity are doing it, but they're silent as well. And so we got a lot of wake up calls to get done if we're going to hear this message delivered from the pulpit.
Well, Doug, I certainly agree with you. I've said this for a long time on my show. As the church goes, so goes the nation. In 1916, Margaret Sanger started the first Planned Parenthood, and then in the 1920s, the fundamentalist churches, the Protestant churches, they began to step away from the political scene and from the public square. They said, you know what, we're not going to talk about these things. We're only going to preach the gospel. And the time when the church needed to stand up the most in our society is the time when they backed away the most. And that has continued up until 2025, where so many churches are not standing up and telling the wholeness, the fullness of the gospel of Jesus Christ. They're not standing for life. They're kind of backing away because they want to keep people in their doors. They want to keep making money. They want to keep the pastor at a high salary and want to keep people feeling good. Well, Doug, I know you know this, and I know that your audience knows this, but feeling good doesn't do us anything. We need to get uncomfortable. We need to get out of our comfort, go into the battle zone, and start fighting for life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness, or we are going to lose that in the United States of America.
100%. It never ceases to amaze me, my friend, the wisdom that you have for such a young age. And you're right. And that's why we see in this country, and why, as a Catholic, I admire the church's stance on life. We have been unwavering. In fact, the Catholic Church for 2,000 years has been unwavering. Right. No women priests, no homosexual priests, no abortions. We hold the line, and we've been diligent in that. And that's why the FBI under Biden, in my opinion anyway, was targeting Catholics, because they viewed them as a threat to their agenda to deconstruct society. And when you start to deconstruct society, you've got to get rid of God, which is what the Democrats have done, and get rid of any institution that stands in the way of the people either knowing the truth or becoming dependent upon the government.
And the great tragedy about that is that Joe Biden claims to be a Catholic. Joe Biden's not a Catholic. He is a total poser. Yeah. Same with Nancy Pelosi or all of these other Democrats in Congress or in the U.S. Senate that are claiming to be Catholics. You are not a Catholic. You do not know the gospel. You do not understand the gospel. You are a total liar, a fraud, and a loser, and you are trying to deceive people with your fake religion. And, I find that so interesting. if you're familiar with the Frankfurt School in Germany, okay,
Oh yeah.
they have like 12 or 13 points to try to undermine and subvert Western society. And these people, they have missionaries and they have a gospel, but these missionaries are perverted and their gospel is perverted. And one of their points that they try to do is to empty the churches for the purpose of secular humanization. For the purpose of secular humanization. They want the United States of America to become a secular society that is approving of sin. I talk about Romans chapter 1 all the time on my show, and the reason I do so is because Romans chapter 1 is on full display for all of us to see, Doug. I went to the No Kings protest 1.0. I went to the No Kings protest 2.0. I've been to LGBTQ pride parades to kind of film content and see what's going on. First of all, there's a lot of children there. They're trying to subvert and pervert children, make them sexual beings, which was something that Margaret Sanger and her buddies did all the time after they started Planned Parenthood. But not only that, they have people from the, what's it called? The Catholic group, nuns. I don't remember what it's called off the top of my head.
Whack job, the whack job transvestite. They're not real nuns, but yes.
No, I know. Sisters of Perpetual Indulgence. It's disgusting. It's disturbing. It's a perversion of the Christian faith, and that is only a glimpse of what they want to do to the rest of the United States of America. And so my calling for everybody who's listening to this is stand up and stand in the gap. The book of Ezekiel talks about this very clearly, that God was looking for somebody to stand on the gap on his behalf, or else he would destroy the land of Jerusalem. And that is exactly what he did. He looked for someone. He was trying to find someone to stand in the gap for righteousness, but he found no one. So he wiped out Jerusalem. Let that not be the United States of America today. Let God look upon the United States of America and find not just one, not just 1,000, not just 100,000, not just 1 million, but hundreds of millions of people, of Christians, of patriots who are willing to stand for the truth of the gospel, for the truth of what really matters in this life, which it's not left and right, it's not Republican and Democrat, it is eternity in heaven and it's eternity in hell. That is what we are called to stand for. And I know for a fact that the left is not willing to stand for that. They are willing to oppose that with everything that they have in their lungs. I was just on a show yesterday with a good buddy of mine. His name is Mark Messina. He and I do a show called the XZ Report. And something that I mentioned is that if they're willing to celebrate the assassination of Charlie Kirk, they're willing to celebrate the assassination of you and I. It's time
Alex,
that we stand up and stand
where can people find you? We're out of time. We could keep on going, but where can we find you?
Find me on Rumble and YouTube. Search up The Alex Stone Show. Also follow me on X at StoneJAlex. Thank you, Doug, for having me on.
Put that up on the screen for you, Alex. You bet.
Right Side with Doug Billings.